I set sail from Cartagena, Colombia, on a 200-mile passage west for the isolated and elusive San Blas Islands and Panamanian waters. I managed to safely anchor Namaste behind the protection of a barrier reef just as a weather system was approaching from the east. My first night in the San Blas was a long one, as the wind blew hard, rain pummeled, and the lightning tested the borders of my fears. Not only did a new day come with the morning sun, but a new time. I found myself on the set of my dreams. For so many years I've imagined this place. The beaches were barren, warm, and white. Coconut palms shared the sky with blue. The sea was calm and caressed the shore with simplicity. I was speechless. I spent the day spearfishing, napping, reading, and finally living as I should. I sailed from island to island to island. Each had a protective reef that filled my plate with fish, crabs, and lobster. I caught water from passing squalls and found what I've been so feverishly searching for: peace. However, I was not alone. I will spend the majority of my next year living here with the Kuna Indians, isolated from the worries of society. Time slowed, and the hands of doubt ebbed with the tide. The Kuna became my friends. They don't like to be photographed, so my coverage is minimal. They're very simple people and often misunderstood. Some call them the coconut people, as they are predominantly farmers and harvest the coconuts from their 362 islands for trade with the Colombians and Panamanians. They're left alone for the most part. However, these waters are frequented by drug traffickers, and sailboats are becoming a more frequent sight. Many look at them in pity, and it's true, they don't have many material things. In fact, they don't have much at all. However, they have so much more. I have an enormous respect for the Kuna Indians. They opened my eyes and gave me a great gift. They taught me freedom. I'll never be able to look at society or progress in the same way, nor will I ever feel poor again. I shed much of the programming that I've been taught for so many years. I wish I could stay here forever, but I'm not Kuna, nor do I want to interfere with their world any more than I already have. It's time for me to go back to my own people. As soon as I became lonely for friends, they arrived. You might remember Julio and Soledad from my first video. I met them in Port Antonio, Jamaica a few years ago, then again in Cartagena, Colombia. I knew they were coming to the San Blas, I just didn't know when. Nice piece of driftwood, Julio.
You know, I think there are some things I can learn from the old man. He's not a bad spear fisherman. We went today and he shot a very nice grouper, Julio did. Check it out. Show us the grouper, Julio.
Okie dokie. It's not already dead.
Aye, yeah, and look at that monster.
Not so bad, eh?
Not so bad. Good grouper for dinner tonight, huh?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Julio says wait one night with the grouper, for the next day it tastes much better.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Believe me.
How many years have you been spearfishing, Julio?
15 years
Yeah,
in
you
the
can.
Caribbean.
Yeah, you can teach me something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all she wrote for now. Another day in paradise. When I was coming here, I'm in the San Blas Islands. When I was coming here from Colombia, from Cartagena, I was in probably 30 knots, 35 knots of wind, and there was a lot of strain on my autopilot. I broke a piece of stainless steel off of the stern pulpit. I'll show you how it's all hooked up in a second here. But the weld broke. I got to get this fixed, and I'm out here in these islands. I'm like, man, where am I going to get any welding done? Well, it just so happens there's a boat out here that goes by the name of Sea Adler. I believe the guy is German. He sounds German on the radio. But he has a steel boat and a welder on board, so I'm going to be traveling to Coco Banderos West today to meet this guy on Sea Adler to have him weld this piece of metal onto the stern pole.
Some of the anchorages are more frequented by cruisers than others. I enjoyed the seclusion of the more remote islands.
This is the coolest thing. This guy has a full-blown workshop out in the middle of the San Blas. He does welding, engine overhauls. It's pretty cool to have out here. Check out the boat. I'm side tied. Namaste is pretty small in comparison.
There is one point is not good, and there was too cold in the beginning. So I have to make something on top.
It took me a while to get used to people again. I had become quite comfortable with myself during the last year in the San Blas. I sought secluded anchorages to explore as I traveled north towards the Panama Canal. My intention is to transit the canal and sail across the Pacific Ocean. When I started my journey around the world, it was to conquer it, but that's all changed now. I really don't know what I'm looking for anymore. I suppose I'd like to find a place where I fit in, but I think I'll always seek the peace and freedom to travel as I wish. Today I'm just looking for fruit trees. I hope to find a fat mango or banana tree, however I'll be quite happy with breadfruit or papaya. The short of it is, I don't find much of anything today with the exception of mosquitoes and swamp. Time to move on. It's always such a pleasure to come home to Namaste. I couldn't have asked for a finer little ship. The wind blew gently as I sailed for Portobello, Panama. Portobello is a real pirate town, and Sir Francis Drake himself is buried at sea just underneath my keel in a lead casket. As I enter the bay, I can see batteries of cannons guarding the shore, and a chill runs down my spine. I think I was born a few hundred years too late. I can almost smell the gunpowder and hear the cannons thunder from the mountaintops. It was a real rush to anchor my little 28-foot boat in this famous bay. I tried my hardest to imagine what it was like during this time. I shed 30 years of my life walking around town playing pirate. There's a special energy that flows through the streets of Portobello, and pirates still exist. My outboard motor was taken off my boat one night. I didn't let it bother me so much as I should have had it locked up anyway, but you know. I walked from fort to fort and spent hours propped up against a cannon, reading, relaxing, and just hanging out in the sun. I left my boat in the bay one night and traveled to Panama City by bus to make arrangements to transit the Panama Canal. All in all, I was in Portobello for about a week. I soaked the history deep into my skin and will always have fond memories of this place. I left one morning for Cologne and the Caribbean entrance to the Panama Canal. I soon found myself navigating the crowded waters around the canal. I spent 2 weeks in Cologne preparing to transit the canal and readying Namaste to share the same space with Panamax, supertankers, freighters, and carriers. I needed to take on a crew of 4 line handlers, plus a canal advisor for my 2-day trip through the Panama Canal. Namaste will spend 1 night moored in Lake Gatun. I need to supply food and drinks for 2 days. I also needed to rent oversized tires as fenders and 4 lines for my line handlers to handle. All in all, transiting the canal cost me about $1,000 and took 2 weeks of preparation and waiting. The first day went pretty smooth. There are 3 locks up to the lake from the Caribbean and 3 back down to the Pacific Ocean. When the doors of the first lock closed behind me and fresh water flowed around Namaste's keel, I was a bit sad to see the Caribbean left behind. It had become home. My buddy Gary, on Plan B, transited at the same time, and we side-tied our boats together. Canal workers took our lines and gently pulled us through the locks. The canal advisor advised me to protocol as I ordered my crew to safely guide Namaste through the locks alongside Plan B. Soon after clearing the 3rd lock, we took a mooring ball and spent the night. It turned into a bit of a party. The next day we motored through the lake. Monkeys played in the trees and crocodiles in the water as the 6 of us headed for the Pacific. Downlocking went smoothly, and when the doors of the last lock opened, I started a new chapter in my life. The Pacific Ocean. Panama City, Panama. The Latin vibe runs through the city like blood through a vein. Panama is filled with color, history, music, and culture. It is an old city, yet it is a new city. Panama is the crossroads of the world, and I decided to spend a year. What a contrast to living with a Kuna. It was fantastic and fun. I had some major engine problems and anchored in the La Playa Anchorage, while I worked on Namaste and lived the Latin lifestyle. My previous year was mostly filled with solitude, yet this year will be filled with friends. At night we would gather for drinks on various boats, go out dancing or dining, or just hang out. Panama was about friends, romance, and family. My long-lost sister even came for a visit. I also took some charter work and had some really wonderful people come for a stay. I made friends here that I hope to have for the rest of my life. I lived in between the city and the Las Perlas Islands, which are a pleasant day sail to the west. The anchorages are beautiful, but so different than the San Blas. The islands are mountainous, the jungle thick, and the shores rocky. It was here in the Las Perlas where I became a fisherman. Fish are abundant, and the islands beautiful. I would spend more than a month at a time in the Perlas, living the island life and preparing for my journey across the Pacific. The way I start my day is important to me. I usually listen to classical music or opera in the morning and deal with email and business type work before noon.
Sora, 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 namaste.
I stayed in touch with my friends via email and radio communications. I use a Motorola 9500 satellite telephone on the Iridium network for worldwide email and telephone communications. I often take a siesta during the early afternoon and high heat of the day. I try to put off boat maintenance or physically exerting projects to cooler times of the day.
When I clean my teak, I don't like to use any kind of teak cleaning products on the teak. The two-part products that you buy in the boat stores have acids in them, and what happens is the acid eats away at the soft fiber in the wood and your teak becomes grooved. The acid leaves the hard fibers and takes away and eats the soft fibers. Every once in a while, when I feel like I need to do a really good cleaning, I'll use Cascade dishwashing powder, for your dishwasher, which has the same acids in it that the products in the store do for a lot less money. And then I'll neutralize it with just regular white vinegar when I'm done. So Cascade and vinegar is a great tip. I learned that when I was in Charleston, South Carolina from a guy on a beautiful old schooner. And he said he was going broke buying all those products in the boat stores, so I started using Cascade and vinegar. Anyway, back to cleaning my boat. Cheers! Well, it's time to put some diesel in Namaste, and I never, ever put diesel in my tanks unless it goes through a Baja filter first. I don't care if the fuel doc says, hey, their fuel is the cleanest fuel in the world. I just don't do it. I put it in jerry jugs, and then I put it through the Baja filter and into my boat. I also put biocide in my fuel tank, obviously, like most people do, but I also put it in the jerry jugs on deck so the algae doesn't grow in the diesel on the deck. So it's just another precaution to help keep clean diesel, which is really important. That's about it. Always use a Baja filter.
I really can't stress how important clean fuel is. Dirty fuel can be downright dangerous. Dirty fuel will result in your diesel motor quitting when you may need it most. You may not know you have a problem until conditions are rough and stir up the sediment in your tank. I've had to open and clean my tank twice in 3 years.
Try not to make too much of a mess. I always end up getting diesel all over my deck.
Another chore burden to the cruising sailor is how to deal with garbage. Most cruisers burn their trash when there's no better option. However, this can be a fun chore and not a bad way to spend a few hours. In my opinion, any reason to hang out on the beach is a good one. I always take the time to clean up the beach and leave it better than when I found it. Today I found a bunch of fishing net that could be a serious hazard to marine life, along with a few sandals, plastic containers, and other rubbish. Using a pinch of gasoline can be a dodgy method to starting a fire and not recommended. However, I have become a master over the years. Always make sure you're upwind of the fire before lighting it, or this will happen. Ouch! There goes all the hair on my arm. Of course, I did this just to prove a point. Yeah, right. Anyway, who would have ever thought that taking out the trash could be so peaceful and relaxing? After making sure the fire was out, I rode back to Namaste to put on the outboard motor and do some exploring.
So I heard that there is a freshwater stream up in this mountain behind me, so I'm leaving Namaste to go check it out. Can you hear me over the motor? I'm leaving Namaste to go check out the freshwater situation. It's supposed to be back here through a mangrove and kind of tricky to get to, but I'll get video of it so you can see it too. Can't tell how deep it is here. The water's so muddy. Good thing to remember is here snakes are in the trees, not on the ground.
Whenever I go to a secluded shoreline, I like to be as quiet as possible, not to disturb the wildlife. Not only is it good practice for good photo opportunities, but you'll also get a good sense of who your neighbors are. I always bring plenty of drinking water and a machete for fruit, brush, or snakes. As I was setting up the camera, a large hawk swooped just feet over my head and perched himself in a nearby tree. He was quite curious as to my activities.
As soon as I got here, he flew in and kind of scared me because of the way he came through the trees, but he's just perched himself up there and he's just sitting watching what I'm doing. It's kind of cool. Gorgeous bird. I'm sure there's a lot to prey on back here for him.
It's a good thing you can't smell through the TV. It's been a few days, well, maybe 5 since I've had a real shower. I brought soap and shampoo and I'm really excited to take a bath using as much fresh water as I want. The stream is cool and refreshing and I welcome this activity on a hot day. I continued my trek up the stream for a while. At one point I heard something large and heavy rustling in the bush. I suspect it was a croc, but I didn't get the opportunity to see it.
I'm gonna go hike up the river. The rocks are really slippery, so I'm gonna put the camera back in the case and go for a hike. It's really beautiful up here.
I spent an hour or so hiking up the stream and took another bath before returning to the dinghy. It's a real treat to have fresh water so near to the anchorage. As you can see, Namaste is in need of a bottom job, and the waterline is a mess. I had returned to the Espiritu Santo anchorage after spending a few weeks in Panama City. I picked up my friend Cassie to help me put a few coats of anti-fouling paint on Namaste's bottom. The shipyard in Panama wanted a lot of money to haul Namaste, and at the recommendation of my friend Roger, decided to careen her on the beach here at Espiritu Santo. It's the perfect location. There's a 12-foot tide, the beach has 100% shelter from the open sea, and the sand is soft and fine. One morning, about an hour after high tide, I pointed Namaste toward the beach and ran her aground. I have never intentionally grounded any of my sailboats before, and I was a bit nervous. However, I was determined to do this and I enjoyed the experience. Passing boats hailed me on the radio and asked if I needed assistance or warned me I was too close to the shore. I feel a little like Humphrey Bogart here pulling the African Queen through the jungle.
How do you feel about your girl being aground?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah?
Everything's going pretty smooth. The sand here is really soft. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm going to scratch my hull kind of guy. Namaste is a cruising boat. So I'll probably hand paint the hull at some point over the next year. But I don't think she'll scratch anyway. The sand's really, really soft. I'm going to put a stern hook out. And I'm going to have this long line out on the beach. So when the tide comes up tonight, we'll let out line on the bow, pull in on the stern hook, and just set out there overnight. Tomorrow's high tide's at about 7, so at about 7:30 or 8, just like today, we'll pull in on the bow line, let off on the stern line, and nudge her over the other way and paint the other side of the bottom. Should be pretty smooth, and I think a hell of a lot more fun than going to a yard. So, back to work.
I decided to paint the port side the first day and pulled Namaste to the starboard side via a halyard. I'd say she's definitely listing to starboard. It took me a while to get used to seeing her on her side, but I got some great pictures. Cassie was a great help in taking video and painting. Thanks, girl.
Tell me what you're doing.
I'm digging out underneath the keel so we can get the very bottom of the keel, which has been my biggest problem because I ran aground in the San Blas, I hit some sand and took all the paint off of the bottom. So barnacles have really been growing on the very bottom of the keel. So I definitely want to get some paint on that.
Looks like you got some rain coming.
Rain's definitely coming. Namaste is definitely out of the water. She's washed down, she's taped. Cass and I are just about to slather her up with bottom paint. I want to change my prop from a 2-blade to a 3-blade prop. I'll do that either today or tomorrow depending on time. But it's kind of cool careening your boat.
As bad as you thought it was going to be?
No, I was a little panicky this morning obviously. I've never intentionally run my boat up on the ground before, but it's not so bad. I might even just to clean the bottom in the future if I find a nice beach like this. It beats cleaning it in the water. Or if I gotta work on the hull or anything, and you can do it in a day's time, it's a great way to do it.
Don't get crabs in your ears.
I wouldn't, 2 things to be really careful about. You want to definitely be careful with your rudder. If you have like a modified fin or a fin keel boat, I don't know that I'd be so hip on the whole careening process. But for a full keel boat like this, Can't hurt anything, just watch the rudder and you're fine. Today is the first day of the 2-day careening process. We got the port side painted. I'm going to go over the details and show you everything right now. But it's kind of cool. I'm pretty happy with what's going on. Hold on, check it out.
You say something about how we ordered red bottom paint?
Well, I ordered red bottom paint, and it
red.
kind of, yeah, this is German for red. It's kind of purple. But look how far out we are. We have a 12-foot tide today, so I don't know if you can see it, there's a, where is it? There it is. There's a stern line going out to an anchor out there before we hit that boat. And I have the bow hook on the beach over there. And the whole concept is when the water comes up, I'm just going to pull in on the stern line, let out the bow line, go out there, and come back tomorrow. We saved a bunch of money today, because you know, hauling out in the yard is kind of expensive, and I'm kind of broke, so, but I do get to sail around. So the most rewarding part of painting a bottom of your sailboat is taking off the tape, because there's such a nice clean line. And it's even cooler when you careen your boat, like we have. So I'm gonna let Cass take off the tape. She taped it, so it's really her glory. We're gonna try now, okay? Let's check this out. Ta-da!
Looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
Oi.
After we finished work, we had drinks to celebrate the first day. I fiddled with things and enjoyed seeing Namaste from this new perspective. Once the tide came up, Cassie and I let slack out on the bow and gently pulled Namaste back out into the anchorage. The second day went as smooth as the first, and I was quite happy with the careening process. I'll do it again. I love sailing the stretch of ocean. I had a very nice day sail back to Panama City. It's time for me to prepare Namaste to cross the Pacific Ocean, and I've got a lot of work to do. I anchored Namaste in the La Plata anchorage again and got straight to work. The cruising sailor really has to be self-sufficient. I can do minor electronic repairs, and over the years I've become a halfway decent diesel mechanic. This is my exhaust manifold getting a cleaning and some muriatic acid. My old Volvo MD11C is raw water cooled, and as a result needs a lot of maintenance. I had to remove one of the cylinder sleeves to clean the cooling water port behind it. It was a pretty big job. I also adjusted the valves and made sure everything was shipshape in the engine room. I love cruising in a small boat, but one of the biggest drawbacks is when you get into a project, your entire living area becomes a workshop. And on a big job like this, it can really turn your life upside down. That, accompanied by the fact that I have a tendency to be a bit of a slob, is the perfect equation for total disaster. Boat is a real mess. I'm here on Genesis with my friend Ali, and we're making some mast steps for Namaste today. I can't wait.
And start the generator.
These are really fantastic mast steps here, if you can see them. Totally built from scratch. Stainless steel bar. We cut these little plates and welded them onto here. I've backed them with rubber because stainless is dissimilar metal from my mast, which is aluminum. So these rubber backing plates are going to stop corrosion, and I can't wait to have these on. It took me a day and a half to mount the mast steps using my cordless drill and a pop rivet gun. I feel this is a necessary safety addition for Namaste, especially since I single hand. On my second day aloft, I noticed the trade winds were blowing steadily. It's getting time to go. As soon as the mast step project was complete, it was time for me to mount my new, beautiful, and totally awesome ABI windlass. I made a mount out of cardboard and showed the design to my friend Ali, the welder, and he manufactured it in a day. It'll be really nice not having to always retrieve the anchor by hand. I didn't trust my lifelines in the cockpit. Since Ali was already on board with his equipment, I had him weld solid stainless steel tubing as lifeline. Looking back, already having crossed the Pacific, this is one of the best safety additions I've made to Namaste. After all my work was completed, I relaxed and spent time with friends. I need a little time to mentally prepare for crossing the Pacific. This is my friend Aki on his boat Liberty. One of the coolest things about cruising is that people from all races, income brackets, and ages hang out together. It's a richly diverse, international community of people with a common interest. Freedom. Not that anybody's drinking. It's got rum, wine, juice, beer, more rum. Oh, there's some water.
That's an Irish song, so it is.
Well, time for final provisioning. I'm leaving in a few days. Nice octopus, but I won't be needing one. Wow, the prices on seafood are really cheap. More octopus, only $2 a pound. Nah, I picked some up for sashimi dinner. The fresh produce market is just on the other side of town, and a quick cab ride. So, they say every dog has his day, and I think today is mine. Tomorrow I am taking my little 28-foot sailboat, Namaste, and I am going to sail 4,000 miles from here, Panama, in the Pacific, on the Pacific side of the Panama Canal, 4,000 miles to Isla Marquesas, probably make landfall in Hiva Oa, which is 4,000 miles away. I'm expecting to be at sea for 38 to 45 days, and provisioning has been expensive. I wouldn't say fun, but definitely a chore. I want to show you what's going on with Namaste and how much food I have. Alright, check it out. Let me give you a tour. We have bananas. Down here there's a big sack of potatoes, a big sack of onions, a big sack of oranges. That's what they're called. I've got 75 limes, I've got red peppers, I've got lots and lots of garlic. Guess what? More bananas. These are plantains. They last longer. I have some bananas in here and some outside, so they ripen at different stages. A bunch of pineapples. Let's go outside. You see, I told you there were more bananas out here. Let's go up front. Here there's a big bag of coconuts. We got about, I think there's 25 coconuts in there. Those should last a couple months. I've got propane for the barbecue, extra gasoline for the dinghy. There's an extra 15 gallons of dinghy fuel there, extra 25 gallons of diesel there.
ABI windlass is ready to go and installed. And my mast steps are on and installed and ready to go. I am definitely ready to go. Let's just get back here. Hope the sound wasn't too bad. It's kind of windy. But that's about where I'm at right now. Lots of, where's the light? There, that's better. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of provisions. And that's not including, I have 3 gallons of rum. I'm going to get a couple more gallons tomorrow. 5 cases of Guinness. Over 60 or 70 ramens. Lots of pasta, peanut butter, all kinds of stuff. I don't think I'll starve. That's going to be a far cry. I'm not going to starve. This is what the anchorage in La Playa looks like. It is packed with boats right now. Everybody's getting ready to leave. Most are going for the Galapagos. Today is a really special morning for me. Today I leave Panama and I'm sailing for the Marquesas Islands. It's a 4,000 mile trip, a little more, like 4,056 miles, depending on tax and all that, you know. But Panama's been home. I've been on the Pacific side of Panama for about a year, and on the other side of Panama between the San Blas Islands and Colombia, Cartagena, for another year or so. And it's become my home, you know. I love the South American way. They're just great people, beautiful women. It's a great place, fantastic food, music. It's been home, you know. But today I leave on a very long journey, and I wanted to show you what my morning looks like. It's a special day. Check it out. Isla Mogo Mogo, where they just shot Survivor. Back there we've got Contadora. More of the Las Perlas. The Marquesas out there somewhere. Actually, the Marquesas are out there. I'm heading south first to get across the ITCZ. That's Isla Chipera and Isla Saboga. I don't know if you can see, there's a little rock out there. Let's see if we can see it. There's a little rock somewhere. That's Isla Catalina. Come on, go into focus. There you go. But today is a great day. Ooh, my hair looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Nah, my hair always looks bad. I'm not the most beautiful guy in the world, but I'm blessed in other ways. I get to go sailing. Check this out. I'm doing just under 5 knots just on my jib. Think I've been in Panama for a while? That's my Panamanian flag, or what's left of it. Let's see how fast I am doing. Oh, not so bad, 4.3. Ciao. Good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. It's my second morning at sea. I'm about 175 miles past Punta Mala in Panama, en route kind of to the Galapagos. I don't think I'm going to stop there, but I may. Last night there was no wind. I took all the sails down and just slept and drifted. I drifted at about 1.5 knots, kind of in the right direction, so I still managed to make a little bit of way. Woke up this morning. I can see back there, there's some convective activity, lightning,
And there's a lot of dolphins around. They're not swimming and playing by the boat. I think they're just looking for food. They're not too interested in playing today. But let me show you what the morning looks like. Yeah, you can't really see the dolphin. They're out there though. They're everywhere. I'll check in with you. My hair always looks... I got this cow look in the morning. Maybe I should just shave my head and do a Telly Savalas at sea thing. Cold Jacko. Maybe not. No, that's Sean Connery, isn't it? It's boring out here. It's really not. I can't say that I'm bored. I'm very content, very happy. It's peaceful and wonderful, and unlike my first night, which was pretty rotten. The first night going around Punta Mala, which in Spanish means bad point, very, very bad point. I had really just an awful, awful night at sea, blowing 27 to 30. I think actually more now because my wind speed indicator just died, so I don't think it was giving me proper readings. Probably, if I had to say, closer to 35. And it wasn't that it was so windy, it was the swell conditions. If you look at a chart of Punta Mala, the Pacific comes up from 3,000 feet to a couple hundred feet immediately, and there's seamounts all over the place. And the swell almost seemed like it was just welling up from under me. It wasn't coming in, it was just kind of like coming up from the bottom. So really, really nasty, nasty night. First time I've had to use a third reef in the main. I didn't know Namaste went 7.5 to 8 knots, but she did, downwind. And I'm very happy to have that in my past. Deep water sailing is good sailing. Even if the swell is large at sea, it's long intervals, and you just kind of... Much better than shallow water. Don't like shallow water. Anyway, cheers guys, peace, love, and coconuts, and I will check in with you later. So it's my third day since I left Panama. Still pretty early in the game, but I'm starting to settle into the kind of routine. I'm noticing I really like an afternoon coffee, which I'm making now. Boat is a wreck. Here, let me show you. My chart got absolutely destroyed in the first night. I've got the water maker going, making water. I don't have it connected directly to the tank. Hold on, why did I do that? I don't have the water maker connected directly to the holding tank because I want to make sure the water's not contaminated before it goes in. So I put it in gallon jugs and then pour it in myself. I've got my coffee, which should be a little higher, my coffee going. Let me show you what outside looks like. There is just a breath of wind. My wind indicator broke, so it doesn't tell you how fast the wind is. But luckily the direction works, which talks to the autopilot, which is important. Still have a bunch of fruits here. The damage wasn't too bad from the other night. A lot of stuff got banged up the other night. I've got pineapples drying here, some bananas in their late stages drying over there, more bananas in an early stage drying over there on the dinghy. Maybe 3 or 4 knots of wind. I have the big drifter up, which is barely inflated. Here, to see that a little better. The main, which is trying its damnedest, but there is a lot of nothing out here. You can see my line in the water back there. Where is it? Can you see it? There it is. It's one of my lines, and I have a fishing rod too. I got a hand line and a fishing rod going.
Hey everybody, it's really hot. It's night, obviously, because that's the weird green, woo, spooky thing. It's night shot. I do have lights on, but night shot I'm getting a better exposure on. Do my eyes look weird? Look at that. Alright, enough of that. What do I do at night? Cooking dinner right now. Potatoes, onions, garlic. I'm going to add some sausages. I have the radar powered up. Every once in a while I'll spin it up. Hey, wow, you can't see the screen with night shot. That's kind of weird. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of information here, but you can't see it. Outside, it's like floating in space. I don't know if you can see that star over there. Nope. I have a light in the water. Can't see that either, but there is a light right there, and it's lighting up the water right there. Sorry for the music. In hopes to get some squid. I'm trying to attract squid at night, and then I have a squid jig I can throw over and get myself some calamari. Anyway, cheers everyone. Bye. It's been really just squally nasty. Thunder lightning for the past, I don't know, probably 10 hours. So I'm getting kind of beat, kind of cold. I'm trying to stay inside. Boat's doing fine. Hope I don't get hit by lightning. I am in the doldrums in the ITCZ, that's the International Tropical Convergence Zone. So I knew it was coming. It's bad weather here. It's always bad weather here, so what can you do about it? Not much. So that's it. I'll show you some pictures later. I don't want to take the camera outside because I don't want it to get wet, obviously, but pretty yucky. This is such a weird feeling to get used to. I'm probably 5 days out of Panama now, heading towards the Galapagos, and I'm in the doldrums in the ITCZ, and the days are just really gray. Sometimes there's a weird haze and you can't tell where the horizon starts and the ocean ends. There's just no horizon line. And at night there's no stars, and it is absolutely pitch black out here. Absolutely nothing. I'm doing 2.1 knots, running with the wind, heading southwest. And it's just a really weird feeling. I just wanted to kind of turn you guys on to it. Check it out. Listen, the waves are cool. The sound's cool. It's weird you can't see the instruments really with the night shot. See the GPS? No, not really. Yeah, kind of. I got my oil lamp going. That's weird. Come on, focus. There you go. Absolute still blackness. It's a very strange feeling. And yeah, I've been alone for like 5 days now. I haven't seen a soul, so that's kind of weird as well. And we'll see how I'm doing 20 days into it, or 30. Hopefully better than I was today. Today I was a little bummed. The doldrums got me kind of down. Plus I read a disturbing book, so it wasn't the best time today. But some dolphins came. I had a huge school, maybe a pod of 50 came by, and they were jumping all around the boat. I got a little video, I'll put it in there. I didn't get video when they got really close, which was unfortunate, but I got a little bit when they were a little farther away. It's a weird feeling out here. Anyway, Cheers, peace, love, and coconuts, and I'll talk to you later. Ciao. I really love my single sideband. I have it's a C225 high frequency SSB radio telephone. I use it every day. It's, I think, a superior unit to the one that most people buy. Usually you just see the C's on commercial fishing vessels. Excuse me, commercial fishing vessels. But it's a great unit. I use it every day. Here, I've even got it piped into my stereo. This is the Pan Pacific net. I hope you can hear it. It's the Pan Pacific net. I check in every day. I give them my position, let people know where I'm at. I also get weather. There's a weatherman who gives me weather for my area.
Going to the Galapagos also, and you're at 00 degrees 52 south, 083 degrees 59 west, with 10 knots out of the southeast. Is that a roger?
Right about there.
That's a roger. It sounds like
I'm here.
Crowd 100 miles in front of us.
It's just a fantastic tool. I absolutely love it. I didn't have one for years, you know, I got along without it, but now that I have it, it would be hard to live without it. Kind of getting a beard going, huh? It's a little itchy. Oh, Tumbleweed, they're friends of mine too.
Whiskey Delta Bravo 3334. David and Molly on board. Currently leaving Baena and the Gulf of Nicoya, Costa Rica, headed toward Cocos in Costa Rica. We have no traffic.
Not in my area, so weather's not so important to me. Anyway, just wanted to give you a feel of what the net sounded like, and hey, have a great day. I am. Today is a pretty awesome day. I am probably 30 miles from the equator, screaming towards the equator at like 5 knots. I've got every scrap of sail I own up. Hey, let me show you the boat. A beautiful day. Let me not drop my camera in the water. See the jib up there. My Yankee, my main's up, everything's up. It's a beautiful day. The equator's just right over there. Can you see it? Well, maybe not, but it's close. See how fast we're doing. Oh, we slowed down a little bit. We're doing 4.6. Let's get the wind drop down to 11.9. Nope, 12. We're doing about 14. But anyway, very cool day. Today I become a shellback, which means I sail across the equator. Kind of cool. You're supposed to wear women's underwear and get drunk and dance around and make a fool of yourself, pierce your ear, stuff like that. But it'll be fun tonight. I don't know if I have any women's underwear. I can put my sarong on. That's kind of close to women's clothing, isn't it? It's kind of like a skirt. I wear that a lot, actually. What a day. I have popped a bottle of champagne. Not very expensive, but hey, I bought it in Panama. I have thrown my underwear into the sea. I've put on a funny hat that makes me look like Napoleon, but a little bit taller. And I'm wearing my very sexy blue sarong. It's supposed to be women's clothes, but hey, I don't have any on board. Not that I'll talk about it anyway. My exact position is 0 degrees north, 0 minutes, 0.125, which puts me just under 0.2 of a mile from the equator, and west 86 degrees, 45 minutes, 0.694. I had wanted to cross the equator more around 84, but with the way the current's been and the winds, I haven't been able to do it. But hey, this is as good a spot as any. I'm probably 160 miles from the Galapagos Islands, and a little choked up. I am realizing a lifelong dream right now, right here. I mean, since I've been a little kid watching pirate movies, you know, I wanted to become a shellback and sail across the equator, mate. And I'm doing it. Today's a very good day. I've been at sea for 10 days, and I feel absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you. I feel really good. I may stop into the Galapagos for some fuel, some fresh vegetables and fruit. I don't know. It really depends on the wind. If the wind's good, I'd like to get down to 3 to 5 degrees south and start making my westing to French Polynesia, which should take me around 30 days. 5. Come on, 5. Come on, 5. 5. 4. 3. Come on, that thing's gonna change from north to south. 2. 1. I'm exactly on the equator. Yeehaw! Here it goes, it's south. I did it! I am in the southern hemisphere, baby. Look at that. So I'm motoring into Wreck Bay in the Galapagos. I think it's 11 or 12 days I've been out to sea. It smells like flowers. There are bugs buzzing around the boat, which funnily enough I don't mind. I'll show you what Wreck Bay looks like in a minute. It's a really tricky approach. There's just breakers out here in different places, so one needs to keep a watchful eye. Wow, that's kind of a cool shot though. Hey! You don't do this every day, huh? At least I don't. Back in civilization. I'm going to stay here for a night. I'm going to pick up some diesel. I'm going to pick up some fresh fruit and vegetables if possible. Maybe go out and get a hamburger and a beer and instantly take off in the morning to sail to the Marquesas, which is another 3,000 miles. Anyway, this is Wreck Bay. I know it's pretty hazy. And I'm shooting right into the sun too. Lobo del mar, ¿eh?
Lobo del mar. Lobo del mar.
Mucho aquí en San Cristóbal.
As usual, the first thing I did when I went ashore was to visit immigration and the port captain. After that, I strolled around this quiet beach community taking video and pictures. The people were friendly and the faces full of smiles. There's a really good vibe here in San Cristóbal. Aha! Internet. I'll upload some pictures to my website.
The seals really live with people, and there's a symbiotic relationship between the two. I know that people treat them very well because, you know, the tourists like to see them. But let me show you exactly how close they are to people here on San Cristóbal in the Galapagos. See, they made these nice benches for people to look at the sea in. But the seals like to sleep on them instead. He's got to be daddy. It's probably mom. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pups here with them. They're kind of cute, huh? You upset about something, brother? Am I bugging you? I had one
the other night, when I was swimming by the boat, the little pup came to me and he was chewing on my flippers as I was trying to clean the bottom of Namaste. Backstretch. And here's the beach behind him, which is covered with more seals. Sorry, bud. I didn't want to wake you up. This trip is turning out to be a little bit of a chess game. There is no wind out here. 2+ days out from the Galapagos. I'm at roughly 3 degrees south. Let me turn the sideband down. I'm waiting for the net to come on. I'm at roughly 3 degrees south, and it's really turning into a waiting game. I mean, look at this. I'm 1,000 miles offshore. Look at the sea. It is absolute glass. There's not a breath of wind out here. I'm just drifting in the current. But I guess that's what it's all about, yeah? I'm just getting up. It's pretty early. The sun came up about an hour ago. And I'm trying to get some diesel into my fuel tanks. I got a really slow dripping siphon set up. Check it out. These jugs that I bought, I got these jugs for 10 bucks each. They're 15 gallons. I got them in not Cartagena, in Panama. But I can't pour it into my Baja filter, so I set up this siphon. The only tube that I could find long enough was this little guy here, but I mean he's just dribbling out. So I guess better dribble out for a while than spill it everywhere, yeah? But here, let's take a better look out here. This is 1,000 miles offshore. There is nothing. Nothing at night, nothing during the day, no wind, no birds. Just a lot of nothing. And who says I'm afraid of commitment? I'd call this committed. Anyway, and drifting like this, going so slow, I can't even catch any fish. You know, it's not even going fast enough to troll. So if I'm not moving again tonight, actually last night I steamed all night. I've been pushing the motor pretty hard trying to get south. My buddy's at 8 degrees south. He's reefed up. He's got 20 plus knots of wind and making good way, but 8 degrees south is a far away from 3 degrees south. So anyway, if I have calm seas like this tonight, I'll probably go squid fishing. I have a squid jig. They're kind of cool. They glow in the dark. You put it under a light, you throw it in the water, and the squids grab it. Anyway, I'll see you later in the Pacific. Bye-bye. Well, I got my wind. If you've been reading my logs, you know I've been screaming no wind, no wind, no wind since I left the Galapagos. Actually, there's been no wind since I left
since I left Panama, but last night, about 1400, last night at, I can't even think right now, about 0200, I got hit with a big gust, 50 knots plus. Sorry, I can't hold anything very still here. 50 knots plus, and knocked the boat over pretty good. It made a huge mess, as you can see. Once again, my boat is a mess, go figure. And the wind settled down to about 25 knots, and it's been that way for the past, I don't know, probably 12 hours. I'm really tired. I haven't slept in 2 days. The conditions aren't so bad anymore. They're not great, but, you know, they're lumpy confused. You can never show sea conditions on a camera. Anyway, I can't record much more. I'm really tired. I'm going to try to sleep. Bye. Believe it or not, I managed to get myself sick in the Galapagos. I went out and partied one night and drank too much, and it probably brought my immune system down, and something got me. So for the past couple of days, I've been deep in the hurt locker. Let me widen out here a little bit. Is that it? And man, I just don't feel well. I started taking some Cipro. It's a really powerful antibiotic. I'm taking 500 milligrams twice a day. Man, I'm just really, really weak. I had been going out, it had been blowing, you know, like 25, 30, then it would blow 5 for a few hours, then it would blow 25, 30, then it would blow, you know, 7, then it would blow 25, then it would blow 7, then it would blow 25, 30, and yada yada, blah blah blah. And I just couldn't keep doing the sail changes, you know, reefing the main from the second or third reef point back to full, so what I did is I've kept Namaste on the third reef point, and I'm just powering and depowering the boat with the jib now, which seems to be working pretty well. Right now I'm maintaining 6.4 knots, so for this little 28-foot boat, that's pretty fast. I've caught no fish, and the weather has not been pleasant. It's been squally and rainy and nasty, and you know, all those books I've read, you know, they're like, oh, it's beautiful trade wind sailing from Panama to the Marquesas, it's the best sailing, you know, you set the sails once and you forget about it for 20 days, you know. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but perhaps that will change. I still have 2,500 miles to go. I started out with a 4,000 mile trip, and so I guess that's not so bad. I'm approaching the halfway mark. I'm gonna just go back to try to sleep, actually. Taking this video was kind of draining. Peace, love, and warm beds. The UDC, the Uber Death Cloud. Even though it's daylight, I have to use the night vision. I've been out here for a week in gray, nasty, windy, rainy, haven't seen the sun for a week. God, I wish I could see the sun weather. I'm really tired of the rain. You know, just squall after squall after squall after squall after squall after squall, just non-stop. Plus I'm on Cipro. I was sick after the Galapagos, so that's not making me feel too good either. But anyway, normal morning. Woke up a couple hours ago. I've got potatoes and onions, and I'll throw in a couple eggs. kind of show you what outside looks like. I can turn off the night vision for that. Just gray, nasty, rainy. The seas and the wind have let down a lot. I don't take out the camera during really night shot. Actually, you can see me, can't you? I'll put night shot back. Bam. I don't take the camera out during rain and stormy conditions because if you've seen my last DVD, there's one shot where I took my camera out, $3,000 camera, took it out during Hurricane Isabel, and that was the end of that camera. So I can't afford another camera, and I haven't been able to afford a waterproof housing yet. So as soon as I get that, though, I will take lots of nasty weather pictures again. But if you want to see nasty weather pictures, you got to look at the last DVD. There's plenty of it there. I've been out from Galapagos. I've been at sea for more than 3 weeks now. If you don't count the 2 days I stopped in the Galapagos. From Galapagos, I've been out about 11 days now. I'm pretty tired of being at sea, but you know, a little sunshine would go a long way. Anyway, as you can hear, the jib needs to be tweaked. I'll see you later. Bye. I am leaving the Uber death cloud behind me. Check it out. I've been stuck in that thing for, I don't know, 10 days. That's like a secondary ITCZ. I call it the Uber death cloud. It's huge, it goes on forever. But in front of me, I have clear skies for the most part. Man, I need somebody to hold this for me. That Uber death cloud really sucked. Lots of rain, lots of wind, lots of waves. I'm happy to have that thing behind me. Anyway, cheerio, it's a sunny day and I'm going... This is the last piece of fresh food. An orange from the Galapagos. Maybe I should save it. I'd hate for it to go bad. What a commodity. One orange in perhaps more than 1,000 miles. I pondered its value. I hate canned food. I need to focus more on fishing. I realized that my entire thought processes had changed in the last month. The important things in my life became quite simple. An orange, a fish, the absence of rain, calm seas, wind. The days rolled by as I made my way further west and deeper into my thoughts. I spent the days reading, but mostly just gazing at the sea. At night, the stars would hold my attention for hours on end. In many ways, I found myself during this time. I embraced the solitude and traveled deep into my soul, looking for Alex Dorsey. As the days wore on, my imagination ran further and further, and I started to become lucid, if that makes any sense. With so much time, my path became clear. I am 1,066 miles from Hiva Oa in the Marquesas. There's a tropical cyclone to the south of me which is taking all my wind. It's sucking all the energy out of the area, so I'm stuck between 5 and 8 knots of wind. But I've got Namaste rigged with the drifter out on one side, boomed out, and the main boomed out on the other side. And in 7.1 knots of wind, I'm going 3.3 knots. Not so bad. I can live with 3.5 knots. I was expecting to make landfall in Hiva Oa in roughly 8 days, but with this kind of weather, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I might be looking more at 10 or 11, depending, who knows. I'm not in any rush. That's it for today. I'm going to go throw out the fishing line and see if I can get something for lunch. There we go. Is that not a beautiful fish? Here's some perspective. He's, let's see, he's 3 feet long. Today I caught the best fish of my life, which probably is pretty sad, but considering I'm not a great line fisherman, hopefully this is going to be a start of good luck.
And it was. I pulled in quite a few fish before reaching the Marquesas. I preserved much of the meat by drying it in the sun. Something dawned on me. I'm happy.
It's really early, it's like 5:30 or 6 or something, and I'm up. I've been up for about an hour. I'm writing a log for the day. I am 991.1 miles from the Marquesas. This is what the middle of the Pacific looks like. Very early in the morning. Well, I have 290 miles to go. Let's see, 200 would be a 20th of my trip. But I'm mostly done with it. I am very much looking forward to having a cold beer and a hamburger sitting still in a restaurant. Well, today's laundry day, as you can see from behind me here. You know that old sailor's trick about tying your laundry to a line and letting the ocean do the work for you? Those are 2 pairs of my shorts. And it really does work. Whoops. I expect, you probably can't see me, where's backlight? Is that better? I expect to be there in 3 days, maybe 4. Well, today is my 30th day at sea from the Galapagos. I've been at sea for a month and a half if you don't count the 2-day pit stop I made for fuel in San Cristobal. But 30 days out of the Galapagos and I can see land. It's been a really squally night. There's another one coming behind us. I don't know if you can see it. Another big squall coming. And, oh wow, Hiva Oa is now missing. It is in that patch of squall. I wanted to show it to you, but, oh wait. Yeah, you can barely see it. Well, barely, but there's the other island. Where'd it go? The hardest spot, there it is. That's the one right next to Hiva Oa. It's hard for me to explain what this morning's been like for me. I've been up all night sailing, and it's quite a prize. I don't want to do it again, but a little while ago I was crying like a baby. Yeah, really, I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this and pulling it off. And it's been a rough trip. It's been a beautiful trip. It's been a Pacific crossing, I guess. It wasn't the easy coconut milk run I think I left a little bit too early, or it was supposed to be harder for me, I don't know. But, yeah, good day. Really good day. There's absolutely no way I can play guitar and shoot a video at the same time. And I can't mount a tripod, and my camera mount sucks. So that's just the way it is. Man, I can't tell you. It's an hour after I took that last piece of video, and I have a picture. It's not great, but this morning, can you see Hiva Oa behind me? After the rain squall went through, I saw a double rainbow arching over Hiva Oa, and it just couldn't get any better. And about 30 seconds later, my friend Aki on Liberty, I heard him on channel 16, he was hailing me, he's about 2 miles away. There he is. I mean, you probably won't be able to see him, but where is he? There he is. I can't zoom in and hold the... He's out there, he's a little white speck. And I just can't, it's such an incredibly glorious, glorious morning. I just can't tell you. So I decided to get my guitar out, start playing guitar, and I'm gonna pop a beer this morning and sail into Hiva Oa.
What are the chances of sailing into Hiva Oa with Aki? I haven't seen him for more than 4,000 miles.
Boy, that looks nasty. I wonder if I can get in before it hits. I will probably enter the bay shrouded in a cloud of mystery. This is what it looks like coming into Hiva Oa. Just after a nice fresh rain squall. A big one too. Blue 25. Hey, look, blue sky over there. It's tucked in. See, over in there, I gotta enter in there. Isn't it amazing here?
It didn't take me long to get Namaste anchored in this beautiful bay. I was instantly engulfed with the Marquesian culture, hospitality, and beauty of my surroundings. I was soon off the boat and trekking around the island like a tourist, snapping pictures, taking video, and picking fruit. Every day, my smile reached for the mountaintops. I spent about a month in Hiva Oa, and Aki and I made many friends. We spent a lot of time at our buddy Hiro's house, and had more than one party. The days were filled with swimming, sailing, and sunshine, and the nights with food, laughter, song, and drink.
So Aki and I made friends with the guy who works at the meteorological site, and we've got a Jeep, and we're going to explore the island of Hiva Oa today. There's the Jeep. Aki and Philip and Masa. One of the best things about Hiva Oa, besides the fact that it's utterly beautiful, is French baguettes. You can get them for 40 cents each, and they are fantastic. Good, cheap way to sustain life. Ain't that right, Philip? Yeah.
What a special place this is. Hiro drove us around to all the important archaeological sites. This tomb is perhaps the most important of all because the warrior inside it transformed into a god soon after death. Every inch of this land is full of history, spirits, and legends. The hills are pungent with the smell of fruit, flowers, and earth. This is the biggest archaeological site on the island. It's massive, with many tiki scattered about and signs of a very old civilization. This is where medicine was made and ground into powders. The surrounding jungle was a bit spooky. I could almost feel the spirits watching my every move. At the end of the day, it was time to gather fruit for tonight's pig roast. I traded a bottle of Panamanian rum for a pig. Hiro put the rest of the party together.
Oh! Nice, Philip.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay, Aki.
Okay, bye. How about this one?
What is the name of that fruit?
Yeah.
What is the name?
Corosol.
Corosol.
Later on, we drove to a small town which has a spigot that delivers the best water on the island. The town consists of a spectacular view of the Pacific, half a dozen or so small houses, the best drinking spring, and a church.
So we found an almond tree. That's that guy right there behind me. We're finding almonds on the ground, like this, and cracking them open and eating the raw nut, which is kind of good.
Everybody loves almonds.
D'où viennent les amandes? Ils sont...
Let's see how Aki's doing with the almonds. Aki, are you opening them?
Yeah.
Did you taste one?
Yeah.
Good, huh?
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hello. It's an almond. The first time I've ever seen. Tastes good.
Hard to open.
Yeah, hard to open. But after open, it's coming out nice seed inside. See? White one. Almond. A little broken.
Before heading back, Jamina wanted to cool off in a stream, and we took a jeep ride deep into the jungle to her favorite cooling off spot. The road got a bit bumpy. Okay, maybe this is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but it was bumpy and a fun off-road trip. The water was cool and refreshing. As the day grew longer, we headed back to their house for the pig roast.
Come on, jump! This is a cochon. He's flying. The flying cochon. He's hot. How many hours he's cooking?
Which hour?
How many hours he's hot?
4 hours.
4 hours. Maka, Rino, Philip, Hiro, and Aki. Hello, Aki.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you need?
Play some music.
Oh. It's a different music. It's difficult to tune.
It's pig cooking music.
That's Hiro. Well, folks, this is where I'm going to leave you. on the island of Hiva Oa of the Marquesas Archipelago in the South Pacific. I've realized something about paradise. It's not at the end of a runway, nor does it come in a 10-day package. Paradise is something earned and paid for with determination, and best shared with friends. I'll be posting more video clips of my travels across the Pacific at projectbluesphere.com, so please come and visit. Cheers, everyone. Peace, love, and coconuts.